Okay, and here is my disclaimer on percent problems. You need to make sure that you are attending your instructor's classes so that you use the method that they are showing you. For my students, I use a particular method for solving percent equations, which is not this one. And so you're welcome to attend. Always, you should be attending your instructor's class so that you use the method that they're showing you. The very first thing we need to know is that when we're dealing with percents, we speak in percents, right? But we must convert our percents to decimals for calculations. Convert your percents to decimals for calculations. All right. The other thing that I want you to know is when you see the word of, it's implying a multiplication. When you see the word is, it's implying an equal sign. And that's about it. All right. Oh, and if there's something you don't know, like if it says what number, we're going to call that X. And one more. If we're looking for what percent, we're going to call that P because there's an additional step. So now let's look at that. Stop the video for a little bit and make sure you take notes on this because those are words that come up a lot in math and you'll know how to address them when they appear. All right. Number 11 is actually pretty straightforward. It says find 40% of 50. If I'm looking for 40% of something, it's just telling me to multiply 40% and 50. So 40% in decimal is 0.4. Of means you're going to multiply, and the number we're multiplying by is the 50. I put that into my calculator. 0.4 times 50 is 2. Now that was just like an expression that actually we could evaluate. Here's an equation. If it says 15 is 25%, convert it to a percentage. Of means multiply, and what number is what we're multiplying it by? Do you see what I mean? You literally translate it as you read it from left to right. Now, to solve for the x, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.25. So we end up with x is equal to, and after you do the arithmetic, and again, stop the video if you want to do that real quick, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that it's going to equal 60. For number 13, it's very similar to number 11. We want to find 85% of a number. So 85% we're going to convert to a decimal is 0.85. Of means multiply by 60. I'm going to do the arithmetic off in the corner, and it's going to give me x equals, or the number that I'm looking for is 51. Let's continue. The next one, it says 16 is. 16 is equal 80%. See how I'm just converting as I'm reading it from left to right. 16 is 80%. Of means multiply, and I don't know this guy, so that's our x. To solve this equation, because it is an equation, it's got an equal sign, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.8. On the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, the x comes straight down, and when I do the 16 divided by 0.8 on my calculator, or by hand, sorry, wrong class, you are going to end up with, let's see here, 20. Number 15, what percent? Oh, wait a minute, what percent? It's not what number, so it's a P this time. Of, multiply, 80, is, that's equal, and 30. I'll tell you what the difference is on this one. When you're looking for a percent, you're going to end up calculating it, but it's actually not a percentage until you convert it back to a percentage. So we're going to start off by solving for P. I'm going to divide both sides by 80. After dividing both sides by 80, on the left, we're going to get the P all by itself, and on the other side, we're going to end up with 0.375 after you do the long division. All right, But 0.375 is a decimal, not a percent. To get a percent to a decimal, we're going to have to move the decimal place 2 places to the right. So I'm actually looking for 37.5%. Okay? Just like we converted percentages to decimal to be able to do the calculations, when we calculate, again, we get a decimal, but we have to convert our final answer to a percentage. Here's number 16. A student's cost for last semester at her community college was $2,700. She spent $378 of that on books. What percentage of last semester's college cost was spent on books? Okay, so what percent of last semester's college cost was spent on books? Okay, so the last semester's college cost was $2,700, and what was spent on books was $378. Okay, so if I want to know what percentage is that, we can say 378 of the last semester's college costs was what percent? I'm looking for a percent. Okay, what percent? Oh, here we go. What percent, that's P, of last semester's college costs, that's $2,700, is the past tense of equal, so equals 378. To get the P solved for, I'm going to divide both sides by 2,700. Please stop the video if you need to do the calculation, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, just for time's sake, it's 0.14. And again, this is a percent problem, so you're going to have to convert it back to a percent. Remember, during the calculations, you'll only ever see decimals. But this percent is actually 14%. And that's the answer we're looking for. Let's look at number 17. And it's our last one. Wow, okay. The principal at South High School counted 31 freshmen absent during a particular day. If this is 4% of the total number of freshmen, how many freshmen are there at Southland or South? Okay, 4% of the total freshmen were absent. And we know what number that was. Okay, so here's the equation. 4% of is going to mean multiply the total number of freshmen. We don't know. That's going to be X. Okay, 4% of the total number of freshmen is, and we already know that because they told us earlier, 31 of them are what was absent. 4% of the freshmen were absent. And we know that that 4% of the students was 31. So we found two expressions, set them equal to each other, and now to get the total number of freshmen, which is what we're looking for, we will divide both sides by 0.04. After doing the long division of that decimal, we are going to end up with 775. And because we were looking for something in particular here, 775 freshmen. And you can always check your work, remember, by plugging back in. We can say 0.04 times the X I just got is equal to 31. And it does indeed check out. So I know that I found the correct answer. All right, I'll see you in the next section.